Today is July 5th. This isn't just another square on your calendar. A deep recalibration has occurred, not in the world of headlines and news feeds, but within the very universe you are. Countless people are scanning the horizon for proof, for loud declarations, for seismic events or dramatic upheavals. But the signal you are meant to catch is not explosive. It isn't designed to be noisy. It is a quiet, almost imperceptible frequency, speaking directly to those with the presence to listen. On July 5, the energetic signature around us has changed. You might have sensed it, a hum beneath the surface, a surprising moment of mental silence, or a sudden, profound feeling of stillness while the world rushed on. This is not your imagination playing tricks. This is far from a coincidence. The cosmos, the planet, and your own awareness are intimately woven together, and today their alignment is uniquely precise. For anyone who is tuned in, July 5 feels distinct. You may not find the words for it, but your entire being registers it. Your very breath carries its weight, and your soul recognizes the shift. It's not anxiety, it's not excitement. It's a much deeper resonance, a form of knowing, a gentle yet firm tap on the window of your consciousness. So let's get to the heart of it. The sign has already manifested, but the vast majority will overlook it because we are conditioned to seek answers outside of ourselves. The great unveiling is not an event that happens to you. The great unveiling is the moment you become entirely present to your life. It's the moment you become the conscious operator of your own energy. It is the instant you grasp that time is a finite resource, not for the world, but for your own evolution. You've been offered a window, an uncommon portal to awaken. July 5 doesn't shout, it doesn't demand your focus, but its influence is potent. Its message is exact. If you were still for just 5 minutes today, you likely felt it. A brief disruption in your routine thinking, a flicker of pure truth between your thoughts. This is the energetic retuning, and it carries enough power to alter the entire trajectory of your life. If you have the willingness to pause and witness it, the world isn't going to halt for your enlightenment. Your duties, your routines, your emotional tides will all continue to pull at you. But today, July 5, a clear invitation is on the table. It is hushed, it is subtle, but it is unmistakable. You have the choice to keep ignoring it, or you can halt for just a second and ask, what is the true purpose of my time, my focus, my life force? We so often postpone our inner journey, waiting for a perfect sign to begin. But July 5 did not wait for your permission. The recalibration is here now. The only real question is, are you present for it, or are you lost in the static of everything else? Energetic shifts don't ask for approval. They are indifferent to our opinions. They operate on deeper, unseen principles. And a core principle is that nothing is permanent. This moment, this potential for clarity, this unique alignment, it is fleeting. If you fail to engage with it today, the chance will be lost. So, what is the actionable step? Be motionless. Tune into your breath. Witness your mind. Let the mask drop. Sit in the quiet. You don't need hours. Begin with a single honest moment, because one instance of true self, honesty holds more transformative power than a lifetime of pretense. July 5 has unleashed an energy that separates the authentic from the artificial. You've probably seen it happening. The people in your life are either more settled or more frantic. Some seem incredibly centered. Others are coming undone. Some radiate calm, others are falling to pieces. This divergence is the sign. It doesn't come with a flashing warning light. It simply exposes the truth of who you are and what you still have yet to confront. Don't look for another special date. Stop searching for another guide. The lesson is unfolding this very instant within your own lived experience. If you missed the feeling earlier today, you still have some time, but it's running out. The opening is not a giant gateway, it's a narrow passage. You must step through it consciously today. You are not required to fix your entire existence. You don't need all the answers. You simply need to become aware. Aware of your breathing, aware of the choices you're making, aware of the path your life is on. This very awareness is the genesis of all true transformation. The energy of July 5 is not designed to frighten you. It is designed to awaken you, to call you back to what is essential. And what is essential is not how much you've learned, how much you have, or how much you can display to others. What's truly essential is your capacity to be still amidst chaos, to stay rooted when the ground is shaking, to find your center when your own mind wants to scatter in 1,000 directions. This isn't some abstract philosophy. This is practice. This is living. And today, July 5 is your training ground. If you listen with care, your intuition is already whispering. If you sit in stillness, your breathing will anchor you back to the present. If you allow yourself to be aware, this new frequency will elevate you to a more profound state of being. But if you keep rushing, keep avoiding, keep ignoring, then the sign will have passed you by, and you won't grasp what was lost until it's far too late. By that point, the opening will have closed. So stop right now. Simply pause, because it's July 5 and something is different. A call is sounding, not from the outside but from the very core of you. Are you going to answer? Today is July 5, and as the world goes through its motions, a far more significant event is taking place. Not in the distant stars, but right here within your own heart. People talk about a great revelation as if it's a cosmic spectacle, an astronomical blast that will suddenly lift people off the planet. The reality is, the true revelation is not about being taken away. It's about being laid bare. It is the moment everything that is not you begins to dissolve. It is the moment you see your own reflection without any filters, without the narratives, without the self-deception. On July 5, this is the real sign. Something within you is being brought to the surface. And for anyone genuinely paying attention, you can't unsee it. This unveiling is not an external show, it is an internal exposure. It's like a floodlight hitting the corners of your soul that you have long sidestepped. This process doesn't annihilate you. It simply reveals what you've allowed yourself to become. This is profoundly uncomfortable, as most have constructed their identities on masks, on job titles, on assets, on victories, or on other people. But today, July 5, none of that is strong enough to conceal the truth. This energy is too direct, too focused. It pierces through your delusions. It strips away everything that's fake. And if you aren't prepared, it can feel as if your entire world is collapsing. But what is truly occurring is that only the false structures are breaking down. Because July 5 isn't about chaos out in the world, it is about a direct confrontation with the self. As your inner defenses crumble, you finally perceive the real architecture of your mind. You begin to spot your own ingrained patterns. You see the ways you retreat into anger, or the need for control, or mindless distraction. You start to hear your authentic voice. Not the one conditioned by your culture, but the one that was always there, underneath all the mental chatter. This is the great revelation. It is total exposure, and there is no escape. So many are still expecting something spectacular, blazing lights, a divine message, a supernatural phenomenon. But those with deeper sensitivity already know the true spectacle is happening inside. The real event is stillness. Because when all external noise disappears and you're left alone with nothing but your thoughts, your truth, and your own awareness, that is precisely when the transformation kicks in. Today, July 5, you're being asked to quit running, to stop performing, and to come out of hiding. Everything you believe yourself to be is now being put to the test, not by anyone else, but by your own consciousness. This revelation is not a judgment, it is an invitation to reconnect with who you truly are before you were told who you were supposed to be. But here lies the test. Most people will turn this down because it's simpler to keep the mask on. It's more comfortable to continue the act. But simple is not the same as true, and the truth is rarely comfortable. On July 5, comfort is being dialed down, and in its place is clarity. Raw, unfiltered, undeniable clarity. The kind that forces you to be still. The kind that compels you to look deeper. The kind that makes it impossible to pretend any longer. So ask yourself this very moment, who am I really when no one is around? Who am I when every label is stripped away? Who am I underneath the anxiety, the ego, the personal stories? The answer to that is the great revelation. The answer is your awakening. That is what today delivers, not ruin, but revelation. And that is infinitely more potent. You might observe specific things today, a heightened sensitivity, emotions surfacing for no clear reason, old memories resurfacing, sudden moments of insight. This is not arbitrary. This is the exposure. This is your entire system recalibrating to the higher frequency of July 5. You are being brought into alignment with your authentic self, and all the parts of you that are out of sync with that truth will start to tremble. Don't resist it, witness it, let it rise, let it emerge. And as it does, just breathe, because your breath is the anchor that keeps you in your body while your mind releases its grip. If you run from this moment, it will only come back stronger. But if you sit with it today, if you remain still and give yourself permission to feel it completely, then genuine change will start to unfold. You do not require a temple to experience this. You don't need a mentor. All you need is radical honesty and the bravery to face what is. Because today, July 5, the mirror has no distortion, the veil between worlds is thin, and your true self is asking to be seen. The only remaining question is, do you have the courage to look? We have all been conditioned to fear being judged. But today's energetic tide is not here to critique you. It's here to show you. And once you have been shown something, you are faced with a choice to turn away and resume sleepwalking, or to respond and begin walking with your eyes fully open. The reality is that this day may not feel like a Hollywood blockbuster. It might not be loud, but its effect will be lasting, because this unveiling doesn't just happen in a single moment. It begins in one moment and then it ripples through every day that follows. As long as you prioritize awareness over avoidance, July 5 has revealed a path. The rest of the journey is your responsibility. Will you bury it again with rationalizations, or will you stay present with the unease and let it be your teacher? Always remember, this exposure is a profound gift. It's the first step toward genuine freedom, because when you have nothing left to hide, you have nothing that can be used to control you. This is the promise of today. Not an escape, but an awakening. Not fear, but liberation. Not an ending, but a new beginning. So, remain still, breathe it in with intention, and allow July 5 to be the day you finally met yourself without the mask. Today is July 5th, and the signal has arrived. But the pivotal question is not whether the signal came. The real question is, were you paying attention? Because the fact is, most people were not, and most people will not. This isn't because the signal is too complex or cleverly hidden, but because it is profoundly quiet. It doesn't clamor for your focus. It whispers. It moves with a gentle touch. It reveals itself only within stillness. Yet stillness is an art that most of modern society has forgotten. On July 5, the world didn't stop turning. People got up as usual. They checked their devices, mindlessly scrolled through the same feeds, and pursued the same external distractions. While their minds were consumed with the outside, their inner world was left completely unattended. The greatest tragedy of our time isn't that truth is hard to find. The tragedy is that we are too busy to even notice it. We want signs, but we only accept the kinds that are flashy and earth-shaking. But the true signs, the genuine revelation, manifest quietly in the space between breaths, in a momentary flash of awareness, in a sudden unexpected silence. Today, July 5, was filled with these gateways. But the majority of people walked right past them. They failed to hear the quiet because their own minds were too loud. They failed to feel the shift because they were too occupied running from who they are. You see, the core reason most miss these profound signals is that they consistently search in the wrong places. They look for change to arrive from the outside. They hope for a booming voice from above, a sudden miracle, or a clear public announcement. But life never operates that way. Truth does not scream. It simply becomes apparent when you are finally prepared to see it. And being prepared isn't about achieving perfection. It means being still, being truthful, and being willing to pause for one single moment and just observe. Today, July 5, offered everyone that opportunity. But for many, it just passed them by, because most of us are addicted to constant motion, to noise, and to reaction. We cram every single second with something to accomplish, something to consume, or something to solve. We can't bear to just sit with ourselves. And that is the very reason the signal will go entirely unnoticed. The great unveiling isn't an explosion. It is an exposure. It's the moment when all that is secondary starts to crumble. But if you've built your entire life on secondary things, then when the essential is revealed, you panic, you fight it, you run, and you forfeit the chance. On this day, July 5, a unique portal has opened. A moment of authenticity, a thinning of the veil, a recalibration of energy that makes it easier for this day only to perceive what is real. But your mind has to be calm to witness it. And therein lies the challenge. Most people have never trained their minds for calmness. They have not practiced being silent. They have not practiced being present. So, when the sign finally arrives, they don't even recognize it. It's like trying to see your own face in a storm-tossed pond. The image is there, but the surface is too agitated. You must have still water to see with clarity. You need a still mind to recognize the moment. Today isn't the end of the world, but it is the end of the game of pretending. On July 5, what's authentic stands out, and what's inauthentic becomes a heavier burden to carry. This is why you feel more on edge today. This is why there's a discomfort surfacing in so many people. It's not because something is going wrong, but because something false is expiring and your real self is knocking at the door. But this is the crucial part: you have to actually listen. You are required to pause. This sign is not going to wait for you to feel ready. It has already shown up, and your responsibility is to slow down just enough to receive its message. If it passed you by earlier, stop right now. Breathe deeply, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what have I been running from? What truth am I scared to see? These questions will guide you back to the signal, because this unveiling is not an event that takes you out of the world. It is an event that removes the layers of your identity that no longer serve you. But if you remain immersed in distraction, if you stay locked in reaction, then you lose this opening. You miss the clarity, you miss the shift. And in the days and weeks that follow, you will wonder why everything feels off. It's because the signal came, and you weren't home to receive it. So do not wait for another July 5. Don't hold out for a louder alarm. Don't count on a second chance. The universe does not repeat itself on demand. It communicates once with precision. The rest is up to you. Today is all about awareness. It is about showing you what has always been there, hidden beneath your business. The sign came to wake you, not to entertain you. If you want to see it, you must be present. If you want to feel it, you must be still. Most people miss life signs not because they are unable to see, but because they are unwilling to stop looking away. Don't be one of them. Seize this day. July 5 is not simply a date. It's a gateway. And that gateway is not staying open forever. You still have time, but not very much. Sit with your own being. Listen without demanding an answer. Feel what is genuine. That is where the signal is. That is where your truth is waiting. And when you finally see it, have the courage not to look away. Today is July 5. And something of profound importance is happening. Something the majority of people will not notice. It is not merely another day. It is not just the turning of a page on a calendar. It is a fundamental shift in energy, a shift in the way life interacts with you. On the surface, things may appear the same, but beneath the surface, the entire game has changed. The old rules no longer apply. One of the most critical changes that began today is the speed at which the universal feedback loop operates. In the past, this feedback was slow. You could do something out of alignment, and the consequence might not appear for years. You might not have even linked the cause and effect. But that buffer period is over. As of July 5, the velocity of this feedback has accelerated. It is now rapid, almost instantaneous. What you broadcast is what you receive. Not in a decade, but sometimes within hours or even minutes. You think a thought, you feel an emotion, you take an action, and the universe immediately mirrors it back to you. This isn't a form of punishment, it is a form of precision. Life is not being cruel, it is being radically honest. July 5 ushers in clarity, and with this clarity comes the immediate reflection of your own energetic signature. If you move through your day consumed by resentment, riddled with fear, or clouded by judgment, you will watch that energy boomerang back to you. Not from some distant force, but from the reactions of people you meet, from your own physical discomfort, from the loss of your inner peace. And if you walk with love, with authenticity, with clear intention, you will feel the swift alignment too. You will see things fall into place more quickly. You will notice a persistent sense of peace. You will experience a day that just flows. That isn't good fortune, it's not a random occurrence. That is the feedback loop responding faster than ever. That is the new energetic law of today, July 5. This is precisely why self-awareness has transitioned from a luxury to a necessity. Because now every single thought, every emotion, and every word carries immense weight. You are co-creating your reality at a much greater speed, and if you operate unconsciously, you will suffer the consequences of your own output. If you are conscious, you will reap the rewards. This is the new dividing line. Before July 5, you could get away with hiding your true intentions. You could disguise your motivations. You could wear a fake smile. Now, the energy behind that smile is what matters, not the smile itself. Others will feel your truth, and so will the cosmos. You might be experiencing this already today. You have a conversation and someone has a disproportionately strong reaction. Why? Because the power of your energy has been amplified. The frequency you are broadcasting is being received in real time. This is the new vibration, and it went live today, July 5. What does this mean for you personally? It means you have run out of room for pretending. There is no more space for self-deception. You cannot continue planting seeds of discord and hope to harvest tranquility. The law of cause and effect is just too quick now. You no longer require a spiritual guide to show you your reflection. Life itself is holding up the mirror. If you feel resistance building today, ask yourself, what negativity am I harboring? What am I projecting out into my world? Because that is exactly what's returning to you. And if you feel at peace today, acknowledge it, nurture it. You are its creator, and that is proof of your alignment. July 5 marks the beginning of a new, deeper level of responsibility. Not just for your deeds, but for the state of your inner world. You can no longer get by with living on autopilot. You can no longer be casual with your energetic output. The mirror is just too clear now. Each thought creates an echo. Each feeling has a trajectory. You must learn to observe them with care. But this is not a reason for fear. This rapid change is a gift. It means that transformation is faster. Healing is faster. Personal growth is faster. If you are truly dedicated, if you are awake, this period will feel like a profound blessing. What once took years of effort can now unfold in a matter of days. But if you insist on blaming, on reacting, on pushing back, then yes, life will feel incredibly heavy because you are fighting your own reflection. Today, July 5 presents you with a chance to do a full system reset, to see what your energy is truly manifesting. No more hiding, no more procrastinating, just observe. The results of your inner state are already appearing before you. If you desire a different result, you must change your inner state. Purify your intentions. Slow down your reactions. Curate your thoughts. Stop expecting other people to be different. They are all dealing with their own accelerated feedback loop. Concentrate on your own. This isn't about control, it's about alignment. If something feels wrong, pull back, reflect on your inner state, and adjust. Life is not trying to hurt you, it is trying to guide you. This is the gift of this day. This is the wisdom of July 5. Universal feedback is no longer a distant philosophical idea, it is your immediate reality. And it's giving you a live report on the person you are becoming. Use this power. Don't be scared of it, don't run from it. Align with it. And every area of your life will start to transform. Today is July 5 and your life's echo is speaking louder than ever before. Can you hear it? Today is July 5 and on this day, so many people are still waiting for a savior, a guru, a guide, a charismatic leader, a new political system, a utopian world. But the profound truth is, no one is coming to your rescue. No one is going to save you from the habits of your own mind. The era of waiting is officially over. The time for searching for external solutions is finished. The answer has and always will be found within. And on this day, the universal energy is compelling you to finally look in that direction. The only path forward from this point is the path inward. July 5 has made this abundantly clear. The chaos of the world will only continue to grow. Distractions will continue to multiply. The amount of information will explode. But truth will never be discovered in more of anything. It will only be found in less external noise, less mindless talk, less frantic chasing. The only true salvation now is your own inner work. You can label it meditation, self-inquiry, breath work, or simply silence. The name is irrelevant. What's crucial is the practice, a daily, dedicated, honest practice. This is no longer some optional spiritual pastime. It is now a tool for survival. Not just physical survival, but mental, emotional, and spiritual survival. If you are not actively practicing inner stillness during these times, you are getting swept away, slowly but undeniably. July 5 didn't arrive to cause you fear. It arrived to give you a jolt, to awaken you to this reality. The external world is fracturing in countless ways. Institutions are becoming unreliable. People are overwhelmed by anxiety. Emotions are wildly unstable. But the individuals who are anchored within themselves will remain unshaken. That kind of profound stability does not come from the news, from governments, or from spiritual influencers. It comes directly from your inner world. You cannot purchase it. You cannot borrow it. You must construct it, one conscious moment at a time, one intentional breath at a time. Take a brutally honest look at yourself today. July 5 acts as a mirror. It shows you all the ways you are still relying on the outer world to make you feel secure, to validate your worth, or to make you feel whole. And the greater your dependency, the greater your suffering. Because the world is, and has always been, fundamentally unstable. Peace was never meant to be discovered outside of you. Peace is a choice you make internally, moment after moment after moment. When things in the world get louder, you must intentionally become quieter. When everyone around you is reacting, you must choose to remain still. When the road ahead is uncertain, you must return your focus to this present moment. This is the inward journey, and it is the only journey that will provide real guidance moving forward. Not because an authority figure said so, but because life itself is demonstrating it to you right now, with unmistakable clarity on July 5. You are not being punished. You are being reminded that the true center of your universe must be your own awareness. Not your career, not your phone, not your social image. Your awareness, that quiet, observing part of you, is your only reliable anchor. And the stronger your connection to it becomes, the less the external world can ever pull you away from your true self. People will frantically ask, what action should I take today? Where should I focus? What problem should I solve? But all of those are secondary concerns. The first and most critical step is to turn inward, to sit, to breathe, to witness, and then to repeat that process tomorrow and the day after that until it is no longer a chore, until it becomes your fundamental way of living. You will never find salvation by overthinking everything. You will not discover clarity by constantly complaining. You will never find the answers by running away from yourself. July 5 is showing you that you must come to a halt. Stop running from your feelings. Stop talking just to fill the silence. Stop reaching outside for what can only ever be found within. Even as the world becomes more chaotic, you can become more calm. That is your true power. That is your ultimate responsibility. But this doesn't happen by chance. It happens through discipline, through repetition, through the conscious decision to return to stillness again and again, even when you don't feel like it. You will certainly have difficult days. Days when your mind refuses to settle down, when your emotions are overwhelming, when your body feels antsy. But those are the most essential days to practice. Because your inner peace is not tested when everything is going well. It is forged when everything is falling apart and you still consciously choose to remain centered. July 5 is an invitation, a clear reminder, a distinct signal. The world will present you with countless paths, but only a single one leads to genuine freedom, the inner path. The path of radical honesty, of deep observation, of conscious alignment. And this path is not flashy, it is not loud, it is intensely quiet. And because of this, most people will dismiss it. But the few who choose to walk it will discover something truly invaluable, peace that cannot be disrupted, clarity that cannot be distorted, and strength that can never be taken away. And so today, stop asking who is on their way to save you. Instead, ask how deeply you are willing to save yourself from your own distractions, from your own illusions, and from your own fears. Everything you could ever need is already inside you. But you must cultivate enough quiet to be able to access it. You must become still enough to finally hear it. And July 5 is the ideal day to begin. Because today, the energy is perfectly aligned to support this shift. The noise of the world is indeed increasing, but so is the opportunity to rise above it from within. So sit, breathe, practice. Let this be the day you begin your true journey, not the journey of reaction, but the journey of mastery, not the path of escapism, but the path of presence. No one is coming because no one has to. You are already here. Today is July 5, and this day isn't merely another passing moment. It is a vital reminder, a quiet but firm signal that the window of opportunity is narrowing. For years, countless individuals have heard the inner call to wake up. But they pushed it aside. They claimed to be too occupied, too distracted, or too fearful to truly look at themselves. But now, that message is becoming impossible to disregard. The door remains open, but it's no longer a wide gate. It's a slender opening, and it is beginning to close. On July 5, the universe extends a final opportunity for profound clarity, a chance to shift, a moment to come back into alignment. But this is not a task you can put off. This is not a project where you can say, "I'll get to it tomorrow." The energy has already transformed. The opportunity is right here in front of you. And the more you hesitate, the more difficult it will be to answer the call. Many people operate under the illusion that they have infinite time, that they can persist in their old habits, their comfortable patterns, their unconscious existence, and make a change later. But July 5 reveals an uncomfortable truth. Later is an illusion, and the moment to act is right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Today. When you ignore these internal signals, you start to feel a heaviness. You begin to feel anxious without a clear reason. You feel restless, scattered, and disconnected. This isn't random. This is your own inner system warning you that you are living out of alignment. And on a day like July 5, that misalignment is magnified because the prevailing energy is so potent. It is pulling you toward your truth. But if you resist that pull, it drags you into suffering. The reason the door is closing is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in the fact that truth is always in motion. It doesn't wait. It flows forward like a current. If you don't step into that current now, you will have to wait for the next wave of opportunity. And that next wave may not be as gentle. Because the longer you ignore the call, the louder it must become to get your attention. And sometimes a louder call manifests as a crisis, a breakdown, or total chaos. But July 5 is not about crisis. It is about opportunity. It is a day drenched in potential. But only if you are willing to face your own shadows. Only if you are brave enough to see what's authentic, what is real inside of you. Not the version you show to others, not the curated images you post, not the person you pretend to be, but who you are when there is absolutely no one left to impress. If you are feeling resistance today, that is your signal. If you feel emotional, on edge, or hypersensitive, that is your cue. Your inner system is demanding a change, and you can either listen to its request or continue to ignore it. But the decision you make today carries weight. Small choices compound into massive shifts. One step in a detrimental direction solidifies into a bad habit. One step in the right direction becomes a new life path. July 5 is offering you that path, a quiet, clear, and honest way forward. It doesn't offer you comfort, it offers you growth. It promises you depth, but you are the one who has to walk it. No one can do it for you. This journey isn't about attaining perfection. It is not about solving every problem in a single day. It's about consciously showing up. It's about pausing, reflecting, and declaring to yourself, "I have been asleep, but right now I choose to wake up." That moment of conscious choice is the doorway. That awareness is the opening itself. You still have a little time, but not much. The longer you put it off, the more the world's gravity pulls you back into distraction, into reactivity, into the sleep of unconsciousness. And living unconsciously is a very dangerous game now because this energy is sharp. It does not support avoidance. It offers no reward for spiritual laziness. It magnifies who you genuinely are, not who you pretend to be. So be truthful with yourself. Are you listening? Are you fully present? Or are you still coming up with excuses? On July 5, there is no more time left for excuses. There is no more time to pretend you didn't hear the call. The call is here, loud and clear. It is not an external sound. It is originating from within, from your body, from your breath, from your deepest awareness, all posing the same question: are you ready? There will be those who ridicule this idea, who insist nothing is happening, who label it as superstition, drama, or fantasy. Let them talk. Let them remain asleep. But you, if you are still engaged with this message, something deep within you already resonates with its truth. You've felt the shift. You've sensed the urgency. You've heard that quiet inner voice saying, do not wait. Do not wait for life to get louder. Because it will. And when it does, it might not be so gentle. When you ignore the polite knock on the door, life eventually returns with a much louder bang. And if that fails, it kicks the door right off its hinges. Not to punish you, but to force you awake. But you don't have to wait for that. You do not need to learn through pain. You can choose to learn through presence instead. You can choose reflection. You can choose stillness. That is what July 5 is offering you, a peaceful transformation, if you're willing to accept the invitation. So pause at this very moment. Ask yourself, what am I still clinging to that I know it's time to release? What am I still running from that I know I must finally face? What truth have I buried so deep that it is now demanding to see the light of day? These are not easy questions, but they are essential, because once that door closes, finding it again becomes much more difficult. Not impossible, but harder, and you deserve to live with ease. You deserve to live in alignment. You deserve to live with clarity, but you have to act now. July 5 is today, and today is the day to come home to yourself. The window is open, but not for much longer. Step through it, not with fear, but with presence. Not with panic, but with purpose. Because the truth is, this is your moment.